All right, for this example, let's look and see what we want to get rid of. So I think I would look here. I've got x's would be pretty easy to get rid of because I have a 1x. Z's would also be pretty easy to get rid of because I have a 2, a negative 2z and another negative 2z. So let's go ahead and multiply this by 3. Okay, let's get rid of the x's. Let's do the top two. So the top one would stay negative 3x plus 6y minus 2z equals 10. Then my middle row becomes 3x plus 18y plus 9z equals 24. So when I put that together, 18 and 6 is 24, so I have 24y plus 7z equals 34. And I like to put a box around that or something to signify that, you know, I've kind of got to a major stopping point. I took two equations, I put them together, and I got down to two variables. Now I need to take two different equations. So I'm going to take the middle one and the bottom one and multiply the top one by 4 instead of 3. And that will allow me to cancel out my x's. Keeping in mind, we decided to cancel out our x's here, so we have to cancel out our x's here or we're just going to be running around in circles. You've got to get rid of the same letter because we want to get an equation with a y and a z in it, so we need to get another equation that also has a y and a z in it. So when I multiply this by 4, I get 4x plus 24y plus 12z equals 32. The bottom one stays the same, negative 4x minus 5y minus 2z equals negative 14. So my x's cancel. 24 minus 5 is 19y, then plus 10z equals 12 minus 4 is 8, 2 minus 1 is 1, so I have a positive 18. So there's my second equation with a y and a z in it. So now I'm doing elimination with two different equations. So I need to get either my y's to cancel, which is not going to be fun. I'd have to multiply this by a negative 19 and this by a positive 24. The z's are a little bit better. I need to multiply that by a 10 and this by a negative 7. So I'm going to do that. So if I multiply this one by 10, okay, I'm going to write it there. That'll give me 240y plus 70z equals 340. I'm going to multiply this by negative 7 and write it there. So 19 times 7, 6 is 133, I believe. So negative 133y minus 70z. And then 18 times 7 is 126. So a negative 126. Watch your negatives and your multiplication, everything very, very carefully. There are so many steps in this process that if you make one little dinky negative mistake, you're going to be very, very frustrated. Okay, so my z's cancel out. So 340 minus 126 is going to be 3 minus 2 is 1. 3 minus 1 is 2. So positive 214. 10 minus 3 is 7. 3 minus 3 is 0. 1 minus 1 is 0. So, no, there we go, 107. So that would be positive. 107y is equal to 214. And if I divide that by 107, I get y equals 2. So all that work, and I finally get a number. Once you get a number for your letter, you plug it into either of the two equations that only has 2 letters in it. If you plug it back up in here where there's 3 letters up in these, it's not going to get you anywhere. You got to plug it into here so you can get rid of one variable and solve for the other. So if I plug it into there, 24 times 2 is 48 plus 7z equals 34. Subtract 48 from both sides, and you get 7z equals negative 14. So z is equal to negative 2. So once you have 2 of your letters, you can go back and plug them up into one of your original 3 equations that only has 1 letter in it, or has all 3 letters in it, so you can solve for your last letter. All right, so I'm going to use the middle one just because the numbers are smaller. So I'm going to have x plus 6 times a positive 2 plus 3 times a negative 2 equals positive 8. Okay, so right here, x plus 6 times 2 plus 3 times negative 2 equals 8. So that's x plus 12 plus negative 6 equals 8. 12 plus negative 6 is 6. Subtract 6 from both sides, and x equals 2. So we have lots of 2's in this one. So the ordered triple is going to go x, y, z. It's always going to go in alphabetical order. So x is 2, y is also 2, and z is negative 2. So these aren't hard steps, but there's a lot of them, and you need to be very careful and very organized. Notice how I write off to the side that I multiplied by 10, and then that answer goes there. I multiply that by negative 7, and that new equation went there. I draw a line so that I know that, oh, this that I did is from me adding those together. It's very, very easy to be sloppy on these problems and lose your place and not know what you need to do next.